community. I just want to welcome y'all to what I call, I'm gonna call it sitting with the SilverBaX. That's
Sitting with the SilverBaX.
Well, here it is. I just wanted to open up my platform to see who I can help or who I can influence as far as when it comes to mental and physical fitness. That's a rather problem out here in our community. So I went along, I got some friends, and to sit around and have a conversation with me, and hopefully they can explain to me or help me with some of the stuff that I'm missing, because I'm not highly educated on any of this stuff. I'm just trying to figure it out. So hopefully we can learn something.
Hi, my name is Dr. Cheryl Strange Kennedy. It is my cousin. And I am a family medicine physician. I've done emergency medicine, urgent care, private practice, and currently now I am doing family medicine starting from birth into death, taking care of patients, mental health, diabetes, etc.
Oh, nice. All right. My name is Terrell Tepper. I am a fully licensed mental health therapist here in the state of Georgia. I would say the majority of my background has been working with at-risk youth in community settings, doing therapy and community agencies, but I'm trying to transition now into my own private practice and focusing on people who can pay for therapy and who see an investment in therapy. So I think my main thing right now is kind of like decreasing the stigma that's attached to mental health so that we look at it similar to the way we look at physical health, and we can kind of engage in it and buy into it in a way that's not reactive but proactive.
Gotcha. Appreciate you.
Definitely. My name is Tawan Tepper. I'm also a licensed mental health therapist here in Georgia. Most of my experience has been in adolescent mental health. Also, I've been doing a lot of work with anxiety and performance anxiety in athletes. Definitely working on building a brand, building our private practice up, and moving from working in these community agencies under different contracts to building a brand up, working with adolescent youth.
Nice. I like that. And so with that being said, everybody gave the introduction. I want to kind of touch on the importance of mental fitness and physical fitness. So when it comes to mentally, I think that's what a lot of people are scared to open up about these days. And so how can you recognize, or what is it that you could do to recognize somebody may be dealing with something?
I think the first thing to do is just ask them, man. I think a lot of times we kind of assume that a person is straight because they look straight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And without asking that question and doing what we call a mental health check-in, it's hard to tell what a person is going through. Like, I use the analogy a lot of times like a duck, right? A duck is on a pond. It looks like he's just floating along effortlessly.
Right.
But under the surface, he paddling you know what I mean? Paddling his little feet off. But at the end of the day, you don't really see that. And you wouldn't know unless you did some more research. Like, what's going on with you? Are you good? Okay. Some people might even tell you, no, I'm not good. I'm struggling. I need some help.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say so true. I agree with everything he said. I would say another thing too, man, is when you know your people, you know when something is off. You might not know what it is.
Oh man.
But you feel like something ain't right with this dude. He been doing a little bit too much of this or not really enough of that. And you don't know exactly what it is, but you got this feeling typically when I have a feeling, I'll give you a personal example. I got a client, I ain't gonna say his name for confidentiality reasons, I'm sure you're familiar with that HIPAA stuff, but I hadn't heard from him in a while, and he hit me up randomly today and just spilled out what was going on with him, right? And for some reason, he was on my mind too. And I kind of felt bad that I wasn't the first one to reach out, but I felt good that we had enough of a relationship and a rapport to where he felt like he could just hit me and let me know this is what I've been dealing with. But I think the main thing is, bro, if you got a feeling that something ain't right with one of your, people, then, do that due diligence. You can't make them seek help or nothing like that. But sometimes people just need you to ask them that question.
Okay, and I really appreciate that. I'm gonna let my cousin talk. But I'm gonna get into it. But I'm gonna see if you got something that you want to put forward to the physical part before I get to that.
Yeah, I mean, it always, for me, there's a checklist you go through when you meet a patient, diet, sleep, how's your health, blood sugar, your blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera. But now we find ourselves asking about how's your mental well-being. And I remember it was like literally maybe like 10 years ago. I was at a spa downtown Atlanta, Four Seasons. And you know how you have the room where everybody the relaxation room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me and black lady over here, two white ladies over there, and the white ladies talking all loud, talking about the marriage, talking about she said John cheated, and the therapist said, and I said to myself, one day we're gonna be talking about mental health, just like we talk about blood pressure, we will talk about loud, but you would never find you won't find our people talking like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I see, white people and like I told our black patients when it came to COVID, I said, y'all need to do what white people do. I said, we so busy complaining about the neighborhood, they're out of the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They to go to therapy. Mm-hmm. Black people praying about it. Yeah. But what you gonna do? Okay. And so now what we're seeing, like I tell people before COVID, mental health was a barbershop. Mental health was going to get your nails done. Mental health was just calling your cousin. Mental health was all of these things. Mm-hmm. But now after COVID, everybody's uptight. Everybody got their own crap they're dealing with. Definitely. So when you say maybe you should just ask, sometimes people ask us, do we truly want to know what they're going to say?
Exactly.
So that's my point on that.
Now,
I would say this too, and I'm glad you said it the way you did, because like my brother said, we started mental health therapy after undergrad. I would say that I started getting trained for my job when I was 7, probably 6. Because my mama was murdered by her then husband. Went to live with my grandma. She was a beauty shop owner. So I was raised in a beauty shop where people came in that place and felt like this is my safe space. I can, vent to these people. But what they don't understand is they have a license to do your hair. They have a governing body that makes sure they know all of the latest tactics and things to do your hair. They don't got no license to listen to your problems. They can give you some bad advice. There ain't no malpractice insurance in place. It ain't no, there ain't no governing body to say this is a trustworthy person to spill your beans to. Right. So I can kind of feel where that resistance in the black community comes from. But now, and the reason why I dress the way I do and present myself the way I do in certain situations is to let people know that you don't got to feel like it's going to be somebody that won't relate to you if you want to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's on a pedestal that's going to be using big words that you don't understand the meaning of, or whatever the case may be. So I think that it's good to have that safe space that's not therapeutic, like the barbershop or the beauty supply store or wherever you like to go and vent. But if you got some real shit going on, you need to seek a real professional and know that there's somebody out there who can relate to you. You know what I'm saying?
That's important too, because like I say, everybody these days people are taking advice from anybody. You got people that want to be in a relationship talking to people that can't tell them nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just give them all kind of advice. Yeah. But like I said, I told y'all I wanted to invite y'all on here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And I was and it clicked in my head like, let me see if my cousin Sherry comes. So boom. So she knows about the conversation I'm gonna bring up too, because we had a cousin that took his own life, right?
Okay.
I ain't gonna say it, but this is a cousin I went to school with, like one of my best cousins. Like we were like close friends. We did it all together. Like ran through them. I'm talking about did that back then. You know what I'm saying? Coming up and but after high school, we wasn't together as much, because once you get old, you got your own life, you got to go live. You know what I'm saying? We got the kids, you got kids.
Definitely.
and we just wasn't as tight as because you know what I'm saying. You develop when you get older. I moved to Atlanta, of course, and then you get more friends and different friends and so forth and so on. So right. So when I got the call that he had took his own life, I'm like, damn. But not. Let me back up, cause see, we used to talk probably once a month, maybe. Yeah. But back then we was every day. You know what I'm saying? Clicking in. It was once. It probably should have been better. And I don't know if it's. I kind of blame myself a little bit by not
keeping in contact.
Yeah, as much because I used to see stuff on Facebook, right? Like
it was kind of off.
Like, bro, what you talking about? This nigga crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause back and growing up as like we did. Yeah. I mean. We had I think we had one person in the town that took their own life, but it was an older guy back then, you know what I'm saying? We didn't pay attention. So our thing was always like, bro, if somebody tell you I killed myself, bro, check on that shit. They lying. I ain't did what? They lying, bro. Check on it. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't kind of know how to take this one. I didn't know if I was mad.
You didn't believe it either. Did you really believe it?
When I got the call from people, everybody that told me, I had no choice, but it's like,
he walked in the room, he lit up the room.
Like,
and you just didn't know. But, that was all. Yeah, he just lit up the room. You didn't know. He walked in and he lit up the room, and it was shocking. And that, maybe like 2 Sundays prior to that, he came to, when we was at church, and he came up and said that he wanted to say something. This is the irony of the story. At that time, the pastor of the church was not starting to open the doors back up to let people come to the altar. But we had a visiting pastor. And the visiting pastor opened the doors up, and he was crying, just asking for prayer. And that was all I knew. And I'm like you, when he spoke, he just spoke, I just need prayer, had been sick, needed prayer. His mom was hugging him, his auntie was hugging him, we were all there. But afterwards said, hey man, how you doing? Gave him a hug. He said, hey cuz, gave you a hug. That was it. Then I was working I was taking care of a patient, a pediatric patient. My brother, Steve, kept calling me. What's up? And gave me the news, and I'm kind of like you, like, what the? And shocked, a little upset. Don't know. So that's a conversation that needs to be had.
Right. So, and I never. Like I say, when I say we was tight coming up to school and all of that, bro, we was tight. Me and him, we was tight. You know what I'm saying? So for it to happen, I've been in Atlanta, right? So I ain't know about all the church and going. I knew he was sick. He would hit me and be like, cool. You know what I'm saying? X, Y, find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. But you always been soft. You just been the big soft giant.
Yeah.
You good.
Like how though? Was it like a terminal illness?
Oh man, no. But down in the country, they make up stuff.
Yeah, man. I don't know what I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't speculate. He just said maybe went to the doctor and found out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Like,
but suppose he got better.
What? Yeah, right. He got better from that part.
I would say, man, like when something like that happened, you can't. For one thing, you can't blame yourself.
Okay, but I'm saying, I say that to say that I think I missed the calls. I missed because he would be like, cool. Yeah, he was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? What you up to? Well, I was just seeing what you've been up to, and the calls would come. It went from once we speak, like I say, once a month. Then he would hit me up like twice a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. What you up to? And it'd be a talk, but it'd be a dragging talk. Because his voice, you know what I'm saying?
He wanted to talk about.
Yeah, like he might have wanted to say, like, what?
Are you trying to keep you on the phone?
Yeah, in the truck. What's cool? What's going with you? Because we were driving trucks, so he would be like, let's see. He would never say nothing was bothering him or nothing, because we would still always get back to laughing about some football or something. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. So
I was.
I should have asked him.
I mean, at this point now, like thinking about what you should have did and could have did, I think that's gonna do more. Yeah, that's gonna do more harm than good for your mental health. But what you can do one thing I always say is if you can learn something from an experience, then it's not a waste. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the next time you in that a similar situation, like I'll give you an example. Our boy Rome, I don't know if you know Rome like that. But he was going through something at one point. He was
Dynasty, huh?
he was drinking a lot, like to the point where he was like out of his mind, like. And I
for
felt
days and days at a time. Like he'll be off the grid for like a week.
yeah.
You
So
see him again, he all disheveled. He done slept in his office for
Yeah.
like 2, 3, 4 days. This is all bad.
So y'all was able to read something.
So what I did was I did what I felt like was my due diligence, and I felt like whatever he do with that is on him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my advice to you would be. Like, if you check on something and you feel like you thoroughly like put your best foot forward to make sure that he was good and had some resources if he wasn't.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I didn't.
You don't think
I
you
didn't.
did?
No, I did. I know I didn't. I did not. Like, I didn't never. I ain't be like, bro, what's up? You good?
Mm-hmm.
I think I missed saying that.
To do that.
You know what I'm saying? To say like, bro, what's up? You good? Cause I know he had other friends too, and I don't know the conversations they would have, but cause I know that they didn't grow up with us. They was friends he met after. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with this dude. Like we did it.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
the thing that's important is that like we having this conversation now, so that if something like this happen in the future, then you will take a different approach. The reason why you took the approach that you took is because in our community we don't talk about shit. Like we don't talk about mental health, and even as men, you know what I mean? Like if it's anything else that we can divert that attention to,
Yeah.
oh, it's a game going on. I ain't gonna tell you what's going on with me.
Right.
I'm just gonna hear your voice. We're gonna be kicking it. We're gonna talk about the game real quick because talking about me and what I'm going through, that's something that I don't want to talk about. I know you don't want to hear about it. It's not something that's normal in our circles. It's not something that we do. So that's gonna be awkward for us. But the more we do this, then the less it'll be awkward for us.
Right.
So
It's just like what she was saying earlier. Like she said she was talking about to some white people about mental health years ago, and they normalize it. Like if you ever around white people,
Yeah, Wendy Hill.
they brag about
Right,
their
we have
therapy.
therapy session at 4:30, and
I
so
don't know
one day
about
we gonna
you.
be like that.
But I take care of my mental health. That's how white people do. Like I'm on my therapy.
That's right, you know that.
Period.
Right, and that's what I learned from Oprah years ago as a little girl. Oprah, you know, I learned something from Oprah. Oprah said her grandmother did a lot of stuff to get yourself some white friends, and that's why I tell my patients, you better do what they do. You know, if they leave your neighborhood, you leave the neighborhood.
Exactly.
If they leave the school, you leave the neighborhood.
Okay.
If they investing in that, you invest in that. They lying, telling you they haven't got their COVID shot. They already told me they got the COVID shot. You
Yeah,
know,
that's why I
you
waited on
gotta,
that,
because they're gonna do what they have to
was it
do, and they're
Pfizer?
getting their mental health. They're
Yeah.
getting their mental health, and for me, you know, I've learned. I don't know, I'm a mid-career now, I'm a mid-age right now, and for me, I didn't think I needed it until we had some. We have a huge family, and all we see is birth, death, and dying. Birth, death. It's like a vicious cycle. So, my mom, I lost my mom to COVID 2020. My mom was the father of a family. And I'm always the one that my family come to for medical issues, whatever. I'm the one in my immediate family.
The strong one.
I'm the strong, well, they just come to, because I don't know, but they come.
Right.
And so then, but it hit me so bad. I was like, I'm gonna quit medicine. Because literally when I had to go to that hospital, I had every doctor that I knew. Every doctor, they were doing special favors because I worked at the hospital. I worked a code. I could do ER like nobody's business. Everybody was working on her. I'm on this side as a doctor, and I'm on this side with my dad, as a child, as a family member. And I was so angry and I was so hurt. And I was like, I'll quit my job. Screw that. I don't save all these people. I don't save all these people no good. I couldn't even save my mama. I was really going to. And I was in a deep, dark place. And I was sharing this, and my husband was like, I'm gonna call your siblings. Oh hell, they depressed too. Call your dad. Oh, I'm gonna call I would go to work, get in the bed, work, get in the bed, work, get in the bed. I had to go do some counseling, but what got me out my mental health is every morning at 4:00, I hit the gym, then I get ready, I come back, I say my little prayers, my affirmation, go to work. And if I don't hit the gym, I'm not mentally together. And then, but that just going to the gym, going to a therapist helped me get out where I needed to be. And now I'm always telling my patient, go to the therapist. And you don't have to go all the time, but just like put oil in the car, gotta go.
Yeah.
And then like for me, that workout, that's my high. And people don't realize that, but I work out so I can feel good mentally and I can, and then that mental aspect carries over to my physical aspect, and then physical aspect, the mental aspect affects your physical well-being, your blood pressure, your diabetes, and all of that. So that is where mine comes in.
Say that again. That's the model right there. Say that mental does what? Say it again.
And mental well-being helps me with my physical well-being, helps me get on through my day. And then like my dad has this saying, he says, I never met a strange that was lazy. We work out hard in the gym. We work out hard in the gym. So that is my mental well-being. You get up, get it together, and then you get it together, and then you go for your physical check. So that's your mental well-being. So that's it.
That's crazy. It's funny that, like I was talking about earlier, we kind of shy away from those mental health conversations in our community. But it's one of them things. One thing to piggyback off of what you said, eventually, and it's a repetitive kind of like pattern in our community where white people be doing something forever. We talk about it like it's a bad idea, and then 20 years later, we try to do it.
Right.
Like we just now start working out in our community, but in the 70s and 80s, if you was working out every day, it's like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, you weird. You eating salads? You weird, bro. Like, you working out every day? What you doing? But now, it's the mental health movement to where we gonna catch up to the majority culture eventually. But that routine that you're referring to is something I refer to a lot in my practice, and I put together with all of my clients. I call it a personal self-care plan.
I like that.
Where you have a list of things that make you feel energized and rejuvenated, right? Some of them you can do weekly, some of them you can do monthly, but some of them you can do daily, every single day.
Right.
I prioritize this every day because I'm more important than anybody else I gotta take care of, right? So if you out every day and your whole list of like priorities, your to-do list is all geared towards everybody else, at what point do you focus and prioritize you? Because at the end of the day, you breaking down. Every time you're doing something for somebody else and not doing nothing to energize you, you break it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You break it down a little bit until eventually at the end of the day, you just spent. Because you haven't did shit to maintain you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to have a plan in place, just like anything else. If you was, going into a basketball game, you have a game plan. If you needed maintenance on your car, they'll say, here's the plan. You need to get the brakes done first.
What plan you want? On some board.
Yeah.
What plan you want? I got you.
It's always a plan, but when it comes to mental health, we always reacting to it and not being proactive and having a plan. We always be like, damn, I don't know what to do. Mental health, where's the therapist?
It's the hardest, like I said.
But how do we inject that?
Mental health thing is the hardest thing to. I think it's
hard
to recognize. Like I said, I'm gonna go back to it, man. I still think I was diverting away from the conversation that he was trying to have, because I was so used to him. I was so used to us. Like, yeah, I was so used to that, to where he was trying to have a conversation with me that I didn't know I didn't want to have. Like, man, I don't hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of person I am, and that personality, I think, is what cost me. Like, having that. I get told a lot, you just too nonchalant. I mean, you don't listen to nothing. You don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
I get told that so much, bro. So it's like.
But I think that's one of them things that you kind of probably learned as a defense mechanism.
That's
to
a survival
in your community. Like in our community, bro, if you walking around too sensitive.
Stress. I don't want to stress about nothing.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's so much up and down that you would be, not only would you be called gay for having feelings in the black
And then
community.
you're a guy.
Right.
Yeah, you're a guy.
We call soft.
Right.
Always reacting to something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have to be even keeled, and he's been taught the same way to be even keeled. So if nobody's being vulnerable, how you gonna have that conversation?
But this right here is breaking the cycle.
This is what I'm saying.
Breaking the cycle.
This is what needs to happen.
It's breaking the cycle.
My thing, man, like, is being nonchalant. Is that a bad thing? That I don't stress? I try not to stress. When they say stress is the silent killer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not finna let it bother. If the bills do, they get it when I get it to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be worried about.
That's how you live long, bro. I tell my clients all day long, there's two type of things in this world.
Right.
Things you can control
Uh-huh.
and things you can't.
Right. You can only control your controllables, and it's like yin and yang. It's like too much of anything can be bad. Too much of being nonchalant can be bad. Too much of being uptight can be bad.
Right.
Like my brother. You know my brother.
Yeah.
You know how he dealt with his stress? He went to the gym, and now he needs to gain weight. I'm like, brother. But he's got to deal with another kind of way. So it's got to be too much, but you got to. But now we know, like you said, now we know we're having this conversation, and now we know, and we know what to do. Hopefully hopefully not, but if that situation arises again, we know.
Man,
I think one thing too, I guess to kind of piggyback off of that concept of being nonchalant is one thing, and that's good sometimes to be able to put things in perspective and not blow everything out of proportion.
Right.
But in our community, it's going to the opposite end of the spectrum where we normalize stuff that's actually traumatic.
Exactly.
Like, I can't even tell you how many women that I know personally that's been touched by a family member and they just kind of sweep it under the rug. Or how many people who grew up in poverty that they sweep it under the rug or had to like do crazy shit for survival. Right. You know what I'm saying? Do illegal things as a kid, or you know what I'm saying, sell some shit that they didn't really want to sell, or get involved in a game they didn't really want to get involved in. So all of those things are traumatic events, and we have to recognize them as traumatic events in order to treat them right. You know what I'm saying? So in our community, for one thing, we gotta like feel. We gotta give each other permission to feel. I can't even tell you how many times we be in a circle of black men and somebody mentions some feelings, and niggas is like, here we go.
No,
Yeah.
no. Let me tell y'all. Let me tell you. You know, I have this thing where I have a lot of female friends, and a lot of them are unhappy, and it's like two of us are very happy in our marriages. And I'm like, all they do is bash, and I feel like I don't have anything good to say, so I have to leave the conversation. But I want my husband. No, I'm nervous about it. But I want my husband to communicate with me. Right. And then when he don't, then all of a sudden I got a problem. This doesn't make any sense. Right. Because I realize that I'm not an easy person to deal with, and I realize I got some crap sometimes, and I can bring some bad stuff sometimes too. At the same time too, it's two people cohabitating. And my husband has feelings, and I have feelings. What makes mine more important than his? Mm-hmm. So these are the things that I think, and especially, then I hear these conversations not only around my black male friends, but around my Caucasian male friends, around my Asian male friends, where they can't feel like they can't say what they need to say, but then the woman's upset when they don't say what they want to say. So I get it, I understand it, and then I'm trying to express something. And I tried that. I tried to express it to one of my friends. She's like, I don't want to hear that. I was like, yeah, I was listening to this conversation where this guy said he felt like he was being bullied by his wife. She's like, I don't want to hear that. So they're not ready for it. They say they are, but they're not. So it is a real thing. Okay. It's a real thing. These feelings are a real thing.
At this point, we're gonna close. Anybody, you got something you want to close with?
I will close with the bridge between mental and physical health. I think it's a whole lot more correlated than people give it credit for. Right. And that's what I've been trying to move into, like working with athletes, because most of the time when you get to playing a sport, right, they test you out so thoroughly, right. You know what I mean, like physically. Mm-hmm. You got your height, you got your weight, you got your 40 time, you got your vertical jump, you got your broad jump, you know what I mean, percentage body fat. So what separates a person is normally what's in between the ears. What's different between Michael Jordan and Vince Carter, what's between the ears. Vince Carter could shoot a 3 with his left hand, an NBA 3 with his left hand, probably one of the most talented players to ever put on a pair of sneakers. Never won no championships. Why? You know what I mean? Same thing with Kobe, Mamba mentality. The first one to going to the gym, the last one to leave. You know what I mean? Just the work ethic makes a difference. The humility.
Amen.
The fact that you take a person from poverty, which is another traumatic symptom that we don't give credit to in our community, and move them to the most financially stable person in their immediate surroundings, and expect this person to be mature enough to make good decisions in that situation. So, I mean, I think that the physical health is taken care of. We need to put more emphasis on the mental health part of athletes. They've been given such a stage, you know what I mean, and such a platform to influence so many people that it's a detriment to society for us not to pay attention to their mental health. Have them out there leading these people in the wrong direction.
And just like I was thinking, Dak Prescott, you know, he lost his brother to suicide. Did you know about that?
I didn't know that.
You heard about that? So what happened? He had that crazy gruesome injury, and then right after that, his brother committed suicide. So he came back and he got the contract right after that. So everybody's looking at the contract like, damn, you're getting this much money. Why are you not performing? Bruh, for one thing, my leg is barely attached. And I just lost my best friend. If you lost your best friend, you probably wouldn't be the best truck driver that week. But it ain't gonna be on TV. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna play out in front of America. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a lot of times where even if I was the owner of a team, I would invest in the mental health of my players because I'm protecting my investment. I got to pay this dude $200 million. He needs to be right all the way around.
He needs that.
Come on, man.
It should be. I think mental health needs to be mandated, especially for the athletes. And my thing is, you know, like I said, you know, mental health, basically, the better that mental health is, the better that blood pressure is going to be. The better that blood sugar is going to be. You know, you're going to live a little bit longer. That exercise, this is what I always tell people. Have you ever seen a 300-pound, 85-year-old person? Have you seen a bunch of them? And they don't live that long. They die. They're going to die. Obese people are going to die sooner than later. And I think, like you said, the mental well-being is going to make the physical well-being better. And the most important to me, what I do appreciate now, this younger generation, they are acknowledging mental health. And they want it, and they're looking for it. I tell parents all the day, I take my thing to a lot of my patients is, you just don't wake up and realize your son's crazy as shit. You knew he was crazy when he was 9 years old. You knew he was going to kill somebody, but you didn't give him the help he needed. So, mental health, this is important. I thank you for doing that.
Thank you. And I want to say I appreciate y'all for coming. This is my first one. I got more to come. Like I say, sitting with SilverBaX, it's all about mental and physical fitness. And like I say, I had a friend of mine told me, don't sit around and wait for people to put you on a stage. Build your own stage, man, and create. Just try to help the community yourself. Whatever you can do, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you for having me, brother.
Thank you. My man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
We out, man. Mindset is first.
Let's go.